So I came across this article talking about Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and apparently how the game is using AI art. And it's going to spark an interesting conversation that I feel like we've seen happen quite a few times now, where the talk about AI art is a thing. And some people are heavily, well, I should say some, a lot of people are heavily against it. And some people are obviously for it. And it just depends on which side that you're on. And I just find it very interesting overall as a discussion. Well, apparently, again, Call of Duty fans are rallying against Black Ops 6 now for its supposed soulless use of AI art.
What do you notice about this image? I'll give you a second. If you want to pause and leave a comment below before I continue, you can do that. What do you notice about this image? Six fingers. Six fingers. I know Treyarch can't count with their classic 3-lane maps are returning, to which no 3-lane maps return.
Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make it very clear that obviously Call of Duty or Activision Blizzard is not the only company that is currently employing AI art. I mean, there are so many out there that are using it, and most of which you don't even realize, right? Like AI is going to become a thing, whether we like it or not. It's quite unfortunate, but it's true. AI is going to take over for the gaming industry at some point in time. I mean, we are even at the point now where Elon Musk has just created his own AI gaming studio, which is insane. I mean, when you think about that, the fact that that's even a thing is absolutely nuts. But this is the world that we live in, and this is going to be no different moving forward. So let's get into this article from The Gamer. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, I'm not sure which AI is, which art is being used for AI in Call of Duty Black Ops 6, but I'm sure that this article is going to showcase it. So Call of Duty is once again at the center of the artificial intelligence debate as more examples of the use of generative AI have surfaced online. Following an odd-looking Santa Claus, a gobblegum showing more than 5 digits was added to the number of instances of potential generative AI usage. In a massive Reddit thread, fans discussed their issues with AI, with many having negative feelings towards it. Now, again, people don't like the idea of AI, and I understand why, okay? Number one, they feel like it takes away from human jobs. I know there's some people that feel that way, but to be fair, pretty much everything in life has been automated to this point, and it was only a matter of time before automation came for the arts, right? But that's neither here nor there. That's a whole nother conversation. A lot of people don't like the fact that it takes away from their jobs. A lot of people don't like the fact that they feel like it's lazy, and they also feel like it's pretty much soulless, where you can pretty much easily tell what's AI and what's not these days. And while I will give you that, I will grant you that for most AI, there is some AI out there that you absolutely can't tell the difference. And granted, that's some of the most sophisticated, most expensive versions of AI that's currently available. But we are 5 to 10 years away from that being mainstream. Think about that for a second. We are 5 to 10 years away from the most expensive, craziest AI that's available now becoming mainstream in the future. And then what's going to happen from there? Imagine what's going to be the expensive AI, 5, 10 years from now, and what that's going to be capable of. So we are only a matter of time before that happens. Now, you can clearly see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fingers in this Santa Claus AI picture. It's very clearly AI, unless it's meant to have 6 fingers, which I, again, highly doubt that's the case. But, it's pretty much always in the hands. Whenever people complain about AI, always remember it's always in the hands. The AI just can't do hands for some reason. On Saturday, an image of the hand holding gobblegum with seemingly more than requisite amount of digits joined the list of allegations. This image joins a list of not safe for work calling cards that also drew the ire of fans. Now in a Reddit thread on the official Black Ops 6 sub, fans are taking a stand over what they're calling unacceptable. The thread, which has nearly 1,000 comments, over 6,000 upvotes at the time of writing, is filled with fans discussing their opinion over the alleged use of AI. Jokes on them, already uninstalled, or one user succinctly wrote in a response, of course, one uninstallation is but a drop in the bucket, but for what is being deemed the biggest Call of Duty release of all time. However, action of any kind is always a precursor to change. I'd have to agree. AI can work in certain unit cases, but this is not it. Another user wrote in part, simply put, the game feels soulless in its current state. Indeed, for example, EA Sports utilized machine learning to help create the likeness of over 10,000 college football players before having its developers manually do the rest. The end result is not necessarily generative AI like what is being alleged in Black Ops 6, but a way of augmenting workflow. Additionally, it's important to note that this isn't the first time any allegations of generative AI had been levied against Call of Duty, as back in July, it was alleged that Yokai's Wrath bundle was made with AI. And again, I want you guys to understand, they've probably been using AI for a while. It's just people didn't notice, right? People didn't realize that it was AI being used for whatever reason. Maybe they weren't paying attention. Maybe they didn't care. Maybe it wasn't so blatant, right? I mean, having a Santa Claus with that many fingers, 6 fingers, obviously that's pretty blatant, especially when it's right there on the screen in the forefront. That's like one of the main parts of, I mean, look at this. It's right there. Like you kind of can't ignore it at the end of the day. So again, it's maybe it was a lot more hidden before, but it's clearly not now. And now here's the problem. Just like with Sweet Baby Inc., once people realize that you exist, or once people realize that something is happening that they didn't realize was happening before, now they're going to look for it. Now they're going to see and pay attention every single chance they get to see if you are still doing it. So now that people realize that you are in fact seemingly using AI, they're going to constantly look and see if they can find anything else that looks AI made and call you out for it. Another player called the situation really sad at this point. To that end, at the time of publication, neither Activision nor Call of Duty had commented on the allegations. The gamer will update this story if any statement is made. So again, I mean, you guys can kind of sound off in the comments and let me know what you think. But ultimately, my opinion is that this is inevitable. This is truly, truly inevitable, right? And I don't mean that in a good way. I just mean that in general, right? Like automation is something that comes for every industry. People didn't really complain too much. I mean, they did, but they didn't really complain when, automation came for McDonald's workers' jobs. They didn't really complain when automation came for other industries, right? And I mean, yes, there are people at the ground level that were complaining they were losing their jobs, but as a whole, the country didn't care so long as the job got done, because that's really what it is at the end of the day. Not many people care how your shoes are made. You know what I mean? If they did, they probably wouldn't be buying those shoes to begin with. But most people don't care how things are made. Nobody cares how a phone is made. Nobody cares how a computer is made. All they care about is, does it work and does it do what I need it to do? And that's how the majority of people think, unfortunately. So when it comes to AI, it's going to be the same exact thing. Most people are not going to care. They might say they care on X, but at the end of the day, they're not really going to care. They're going to continue to support the games. They're going to continue to play them and continue to buy them. And ultimately, automation is going to take over. And eventually this will be fixed. Obviously, you're not going to have a freaking zombie Santa with 6 fingers. Eventually, it will get to the point where it will be 5 fingers like it should be. But when that happens, people probably would have forgotten by then. People just won't care by then. People would have accepted it as the new norm. As crazy as it may sound, that's just the case. I mean, this otherwise looks fairly freaking good. Aside from the obvious AI 6 fingers, it does look pretty good. You can't sit here and say that graphically and design-wise, it doesn't look good. It's a zombie Santa. Like, I could see somebody drawing this. You know what I mean? I could see a developer creating this from their own will, their own hands, right? So aside from the obvious glaring mistake that's the hands, it really doesn't look that bad, especially since it's Call of Duty. It's really not trying to be super impressive to begin with anyway. Call of Duty now, I mean, if you look at Black Ops 6, when you play Call of Duty, it doesn't even feel like Call of Duty anymore. I mean, the gameplay obviously is Call of Duty, but if you look at the characters and the models that are running around, I mean, you got freaking dragons running around. You got shark people running around. I mean, it's not like, when the hell did this become Fortnite? Fortnite in Call of Duty. It's insane what they have and what's available for skins. So eventually, they're going to start using AI to try to create as much ridiculous skins as they possibly can to keep up with demand, because there is, unfortunately, a big demand for all the wild stuff that we're seeing in Call of Duty. And this is just it's an effect of it, unfortunately. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.